Uh, excuse me. And hey, it's Poisson Variant, your mathematical maestro and LaTeX linguist, who is very, very tired. I barely slept at all last night. Like 3 hours or something. I had a 5-hour energy at work, though. To my surprise, those only have 230 milligrams of caffeine. I figured it would be more, though, but they make a big deal out of not much caffeine. Hey, Spoonie. Hi. How are you doing today? How's everybody doing today? I hope everybody's doing wells. What am I doing today? I'm probably I'm just gonna be doing some studying. I like just chatting, studying stream, and like I'll be studying and like taking notes on my iPad, so I'll be screen sharing that. Today has been interesting. I fought the urge to buy. I don't know exactly how much the sandwich would have cost, but to get a sandwich that could have been up to like $20, because I was hungry and I was like, I could go for a sandwich. I fought the urge and reminded myself in true adult fashion, oh, we have food at home. Yeah, it is almost Valentine's. Valentine's Day is just around the corner. Who has plans for Valentine's Day? Ah, how exciting. How exciting. Holiday plans are always fun. I have plans for Valentine's Day. Smug bath smile. Smug bath smile. Ugh, God. I decided to lie down for just a few minutes and read manga. I'm glad I did not fall asleep. Oh, you have plans? What are you doing? What are you doing for Valentine's Day? What fun stuff are you doing? What fun stuff are people doing on the day of Valentino? Whatever the technical term would be. the technical Valentine's term. Whatever it would be. I'm not sure. Was that a saint? Was it like Saint Valentine or something? I feel like that's what most holidays are named after. Who knows why? Not I, said Sam I am. My being sleepy is not being helped by my sleepiness. This is a family-friendly chat. You can say what you're doing on Valentine's Day. It's like celebrating a holiday. Oh, I'm going out with a partner, or I'm hanging out with friends, or I'm going to see a show or something. How's the stream so far? Live for 5 minutes. But hi Jay, hi Copper. Yeah. How about you, Jay? You, Copper? Do you guys have any Valentine's Day plans? Do you guys have any Valentine's Day plans? Gonna go out and do something exciting? See a movie? Sit in your room and be... That's mean. That's mean. Nah. I will not be doing a Valentine's Day stream. I'm considering this Friday, though. I'm considering doing like a something funny Valentine's Day related this Friday, but I don't know what it would be. I don't know what it would be. Like, on Friday, because Valentine's Day's on Saturday. So after work on Friday, I could do something, maybe? Calculate mathematically. Oh, sorry. I was thinking about doing something. No plans, but you got someone's number? Alright, nice. Good for you. That's good. I hope it's the number of someone you like. Hey, Kikato. No, but I was thinking it could be funny to do a Valentine's Day stream where you make like an equation or like make a formula, where I make a formula or we make a formula together. And I don't know, there's something about relationships or love. I don't know. Have a good night, Kikato. Thanks for stopping by. Your girlfriend broke up with you. I'm sorry to hear that, Spoonie. I'm sure you're quite a catch. Many fish in the sea, and so forth. And so forth. But, you know... Oh, what's the other one people say? Like, oh, if it wasn't meant to be, it wasn't meant to be. Empty platitudes and consolations and consultations and reformations and conservations, conservation of energy. I don't know. I'm just saying words that sound similar now. Now, as if that wasn't what I was already doing. That's my whole bit. My whole bit is just yawning. Yeah, my whole bit is just yawning, repeating myself, and then saying words that sound vaguely similar. Very vaguely similar. But if I do that well enough, it can pass off to be comedy, so... A lot of metaphors compare dating to... Do they? What are some metaphors surrounding dating? I don't know any off the top of my head. I have no idea what they would be. Dating metaphors? Especially none that pertain to animals. But I guess if I knew none, then saying none that pertain to animals is kind of redundant. You know. Let's switch over. I mean, yeah, the point of a metaphor is, in fact, to... Oh. Why isn't that showing up? Hello? AirPlay sharing. Why isn't it showing up? Ah! Does it have to show up as a game capture, maybe? It's funny because I actually tested this right before stream. And the fact that it's not working is just wonderful. Let's try it as a game capture, not that I know why that would work. Okay, a game capture works. The only metaphor you can think of is fish in the sea. Well, your sample size is 1. I guess you're batting 1,000 then for the metaphors. It'd be like dating metaphors. Let's Google dating metaphors. I'm sure there are plenty. I'm sure there are plenty. And especially with, you know, how misogynistic a lot of old phrases can be, I'm sure there's a lot to do with that. Alright, Let's see. I want to show. We want to show that S. Oh, right. This was a two-pronged thing. What song is this? I don't know. It's all a Final Fantasy XIV soundtrack, though, because I've gotten back into FF14, and so it's all I've been thinking about recently. And like after stream today, when Zero gets home from work, she and I are just gonna play a bunch. That's actually what she and I did in high school. Instead of going to what's it called, homecoming, we didn't even get to go to prom. There was no prom for us because we graduated in 2020, so the world ended, so we didn't get a prom. But your model lies. Not everyone will be infected. What we did on homecoming of not our senior year, of our junior year, was we stayed home and we played Grand Theft Auto online, and we created a like marijuana ring or something. That's what we did. That's what we did. We got the cops on us. We committed crimes in Grand Theft Auto instead of going to our homecoming. Very fun. We wanted to go to our prom, but again, the world ended. So my only advice: study. Our sub want to show is that if study. It also depends on where you live. It depends on where you live, how rigorous the education system there is. Did I say we'll be get infected? I sure did. I sure did. Will get infected. You guys get to see my wonderful notes. All right. Now, is this the answer to this exercise? No, don't point and laugh at me. Don't point and laugh at my sleepy math mistake. That's not even a math mistake, that's a word mistake. It's a writing mistake. An English mistake. It's only my first language. Alright? It's the first language I ever learned. I can't be... you know... being very vulnerable for showing... No, don't bully me for my bad notes. Don't do it. Oh. So no. So what we have given is... Actually, we're gonna change this color because it's a whole like mini proof within the proof. Sub-proof. That looks horrible. The wrong button. Very salmony. Salmony. Yes, it is math big brain time. We know that, and we know that d s of dr is equal to ds of, oops, ds of dt over dr of dt. And we know that that's equal to negative alpha beta times s. Okay, those are two givens. We know that... What does that follow? Oh, the result of exercise 6. Okay, so they're gonna make us actually prove this. Dang. I thought they were gonna just give us the proof in the textbook. Alright. Let's get back into proof mindset by solving a proof or two. When you're learning calculus, remember that derivatives are exactly like fractions. There's no meaningful difference in how they interact. They're exactly like fractions. They're one-to-one fractions. That's what they are, definitely. Then, exactly, see that fraction. See that double fraction. See that? This just gets us back to 1 over fraction. I love Neath Dark Waters. It's the name of the song. It's probably not a good idea for me to listen to such calming music. Okay. So if r of 0 is equal to 0, oops. If r of 0 is equal to 0, we want to apply the s of t is equal to s of 0 equals that. Okay. So how can we define r of 0? We do it up here in a few different ways. How exactly do we do it? Well, we have dr of dt equal b times I. Do we give an exact definition for r? Or do they just want us to integrate? Because if they just want us to integrate, then that should... Alright, let's maybe try that. Who knows? 1 over fraction, they're cooking. Exactly, 1 over fraction is just called a reciprocal. What do you want to be when you grow up? Assuming you're not already grown up, or you're not at your dream career yet. That's a better way to ask it. What's your dream career? What would be your ideal, math pun, ideal. I already forget. It was beta I, right? Yeah, because it's in relation to the number of infected, gives us the number of recovered. Okay, so then maybe if we take the integral with respect to t of that. Well, this is an I of t. Beta can go out to the front. I don't know how IFTs... They never actually really give it the, like... Maybe I'm thinking about this wrong. I'm probably thinking about this wrong. But we can actually rewrite IFT. Is alpha si minus beta I. Well, that's weird. True ideal career, you get paid $1 million to do nothing. In terms of actual careers, probably government work. It's reasonably stable and decent retirements. As long as the government doesn't shut down again, then yeah, you're in business. No, that's smart. That's safe. That is safe. What was DFS again? By a negative? Yeah, because our rate of susceptible will decrease. That's how they get there. That's something at least, but I don't think that actually helps. Or that's an S. They never cut funding for defense. That's an excellent point, actually. But I mean, you still had people, not getting paid for those positions during the shutdown. Even if the budget wasn't cut, people still weren't getting paid. So you're still pretty much doinked in that regard. Which isn't fun. What would that even imply? Give 0, well, at t of 0, s of 0 is gonna be n minus some I of 0. The r of 0 is 0. So you're gonna be decreasing. Oh, okay, so that's kind of the mentality. Okay, let me rewrite this just for myself. I say that phrase a lot. Let me rewrite that just for myself. I don't need to appeal to anyone else. I think a lot of defense positions were exempt from the pay cut. They dipped into emergency savings. Oh, I didn't realize that. Then yeah, defense would be safe. I just don't really want a government job because of my anarchist ways. Really more socialist ways. I don't know. Not the place for it, I guess. That's what it'd be. So the reason that works is because S of t So it's going to be an exponential growth at a rate. We know that R is the rate. How does it get here, though? Like, can I go this around, maybe? Well, R of 0 would equal that. I don't know. No, I think I would feel guilty about it. Thank you for the good luck. It'll probably just be like an hour stream of me messing around, but have a good night, Jay. Oh, or is it other way? S of D times R. E. And that's the same affair. That'd be in respect to R, and that would be in respect to T. Science, maybe. That cool. Put this in respect to that, so I get constants. I want to get where that E is. I have to take an E somewhere. Because I think it's in relation to heck, what's the I know it. It's the one formula. This is the best time to do math in general, is when you're definitely awake. It's that one exponential function that might just be straight up like e to the negative rt. Like, is it just might just straight up be that? I can find it in a previous section. At least talking about it should help my brain somewhat. Oh no, that's all it is. It's p of t is equal to p of naught times e to the negative rt. That was the equation I was thinking of. With that in mind, then it would be we have that 0 s of 0 is equal to n minus I of 0, I guess. The rate for our growth, but in this case our population is actually population decrease, so we want our current population is going to be in relation that justifiably e to negative RT. I'm the rate of infection is going to be determined by actually, let's solve for t. I'm curious if we can do it with a bizarre way. Like, get an I, CFT. I feel like I have a food craving, but I don't know what the food craving could be. Like, I don't want something too heavy, but I don't want sweets. Maybe I just need some form of energy at all. Any form of energy would be beneficial. Integrate this, but it's in respect to TL. Make something somewhat troublesome. I would assume so. Beta of I T. I don't have an I prime to work off of though. So it's just definitely just justification around getting the rate based off of getting the rate based off of you won. Congratulations on winning. Congratulations on winning. I don't know, you won, but congrats. Ooh. Oh, it's gonna be, if this is our rate of that, then our rate is gonna be the rate of infection. Our susceptibility is gonna be based off the rate of infection. Ah, but the rate of recovery will help reduce the rate of infection in theory. So, would it be this? Would it be like, you have I, you have T, something. You have R, D of T. I don't think that's right. But let's finagle around till we think about it. Hey Ava, how are you doing? I hope you're doing well. How's your day been? I hope your day's been good. Hope your AP huge gun classes have been going well. That's what we decided they were called, right? The HG. You have a 5D weekend. Wow. What prompts such a powerful weekend? What would the rate? It would just be, it would be determined by both rate of infection and rate of recovery. Oh, only 12 people passed that test. Wow, that's impressive. It sounds like it is a very challenging class. So congrats on being one of the passers. Congrats on. Oh, that's the wrong book. How many people are there are there total in the class that only 12 pass? It's gonna be like, oh, there's 13. But by you saying only, I'm gonna assume that means that that's a small percentage, or that is not close to full. The class isn't hard, just no one understands agriculture. Oh. Do you think that's a byproduct of the professor's teaching style, of people just refusing to study? Oh wow, 200. Out of like 200 people, only 12 passed that test. That's scary. Then extra congratulations on being one of them. I don't have the mind power to actually solve a proof right now, so I'm just gonna keep going as if that proof ended up solved. We'll be back for you. Teacher is mid. She just shows a slider, makes notes. That's pretty much the entire period every day. Oh, that's unfortunate. It's unfortunate to have instruction that's only through like PowerPoints and whatnot. That is unfortunate. I much prefer a more interactive classroom environment. That's open for a lot more discussion. And being able to really question real world examples and concept, but that's because I'm an applied person. I know that you had said you're a theoretical person, but discussion can still be very beneficial in those regards. Let limit goes to infinity. Curve t. Right. Okay, that just cool. It says art. Oh, no, that's true. RT is non-decreasing. Definitions of stuff is so long she doesn't done down. Deliberate modification of the Earth's surface to provide nutritional benefits to one cell. I guess so. So a benefit in the learning curve in regards to that would, if you can synthesize your own simplified definition, that will help you remember it better. However, that's definitely easier said than done. That is definitely easier said than done. I don't even know why I bother. This would imply that that is true. Which is... So in other words... That just gives us that as t goes to infinity. But the implication would be... Well, no, actually, because when I divide everything by negative, it would get us that. Assuming you solve for that, that becomes... Here, am I going to write that all out for myself? So that gives us that r of t less than or equal to n, imply, and then we would want to what? I guess disprove that cat is lazy. I like yarn. Yeah, but you're not going to retain things as well if you don't... Like, I know you have a tendency to memorize, but people in general gain benefit from being able to synthesize the information for themselves, being able to mull it over and utilize it in a sense. So, formulating your own definitions. However, you can't expect people to be able to do that without a sufficient amount of direction, especially in the formative years of, say, high school, when those more advanced synthesization practices haven't really been fully developed or understood yet by the students using them. So it's easy to get caught up in giving those definitions as an instructor without realizing that you as the instructor are talking several levels above what your students may be thinking at, or what your students not necessarily may be thinking at, but may be passively operating that. And I think while it is important to be critically thinking within a classroom, you have to be understanding that there is a limit, haha, math pun, to how much information you can reasonably take out of a situation. And also the ability to, especially in something like high school, when you have back-to-back periods, 5 to 7 periods or whatever, depending on the type of schooling system you have, to be able to, for hour after hour, maintain a full concentration and composure, I think is just unreasonable and unrealistic. Karsh. No Karsh. The only reason you know what synthesized means is because your AP Bio teacher. Look on him. But this... Oh, okay. So this could be r of t is equal to n, which doesn't prove our situation. So instead, we take this again. And we raise that sucker to the e power. Not to the e power, we take an e on both sides. And we already established then. Oh, and then we multiply both sides by s naught. then that, and by that logic, S naught it has to be greater than 0. And this whole E term has to be greater than 0, which implies that this entire term is then going to be greater, strictly greater than 0. And we establish that this term is defined to be S of t, implies then that S of t at any time is going to be greater than 0. All t then implies that Sir model leaves some not in some ever interesting. I wonder if that's kind of when the huge problem. Hey Bear. Sorry, I'm so out of it, so I'm like barely paying attention to chat. Yeah, my day's been going good. You can pay attention in class until the 5th period and your ELA teacher gives the most traumatizing work possible. Well, programming, you have to think in English because you don't know the technical terms in your native language. My god, that's a horrifying concept. Imagine having to work in English at all. That would be awful. No, my day's been good though, Bear. How's your day been going? I just realized I never actually officially said hi to you, B, but hello and welcome. Exactly, Jen. Just use assembly. Never have to worry about language again. Never worry about the language of your language. Today's a chill day. Yeah, I'm very, very, very out of it. Memory register names. I've never used assembly. Today is Fish Wisdom Day. If you take 3 lefts, you'll end up going right. But if you make 3 rights, that doesn't right or wrong. You read a Shakespearean sonnet, and she was like, okay, understand this, right? Quiz time. No, I don't understand. What is a doth? What is a doth? Doth you understand the education system? Doth you understand the education system? Oh, that's an interesting concept. So, we know that S plus R by second. Oh my god, that was loud. Is equal to N. So if we take limit as t goes to infinity of I of t, I of infinity, which in theory should equal n minus s of infinity minus r of infinity. We already determined that this will always be greater than 0. There is a rate of recovery, so that will have to be greater than 0. the two possible outcomes then are, well, obviously you can't have negative. You have an AP seminar next year that's just research and presentation. Just gotta make sure they don't meow my presentation. I mean, a presentation course doesn't sound so bad, because then you get to, yeah, just like sit and research and prepare and whatnot. And I find that probably more enjoyable than sitting in a lot of courses. Again, hands-on. It's funny, as hands-on as I am, I don't care things for like physics labs and engineering labs. I had to take a few. Never again. You have two different course or teachers for your AP seminar? A good one, a bad one, so you have a 50-50 chance to pass. What if you get the bad one and then end up being their favorite? What if you get one of those teachers that everyone hates, but it turns out you're their favorite? What are you gonna do then? Do we want to show them that I have infinity equals 0, i.e. the infection dies out? Might not be the best word choice. Well, the stream, hope you have a nice day. Good stopping by. Thanks for stopping by, Bear. It was nice. Oh, that's actually... So if we let I have infinity greater than 0, that implies that if I infinity is equal to R of infinity, which then implies that sorry, not R of infinity, T, you know, for T is infinity, then that would mean that this 0, which would then imply that you have R of D greater than 0, which would mean infinite recovering patients, because you'd always have a positive rate recovering patients, even though N constant. Therefore, I of infinity ought be greater than 0, which that implies that I of infinity would have to be 0. Cool. Oh my god. It's Hatsune Miku. Is that Hatsune Miku? Yes, it's hiding in your Wi-Fi. Blue hair, blue tie, hiding in your Wi-Fi. Hatsune Miku. You have bad short-term memory. Why am I taking derivatives of R and T? Because that's the rate of recovery for the SIR model. And if I goes to infinity, and the rate of recovery is defined by beta times I, where beta is a strictly positive scalar, and then if I is greater than 0, because I can't be negative, it has to be greater than 0, or it has to be 0 itself. If I have infinity is greater than 0, then that would imply that the rate of recovery as t goes to infinity is positive, meaning that it would continue to go upwards, meaning that you would have infinite number of recovering patients, which would imply an infinite number of patients. So therefore, I of t must in fact be 0. If it's not Miku, it's Teto. She ate the Wi-Fi. She was hiding in it, and then she ate it. How could she? How could she? What's going on? I have no idea either. Vocaloids are taking over my stream. It was bound to happen eventually. It was always gonna happen. We just tried to avoid it as long as possible, but it's unavoidable. It really is unavoidable. You're out before you have someone else. I know we're gonna get the twins in here. The twins in here are gonna show up. Oh my god, look it. It's me. It's me. Look it, it's me. Imposter, that's pretty sus. The Hatsune Miku Among Us joke. Inevitable. This line of work. Oh my god. Do I have a favorite Vocaloid? I do really like Miku's color scheme and her voice. It probably would be Miku, I think. Probably Miku. Although I really like certain songs. I really like Luka Luka Night Fever hits different. Oh, that's quite a few leaks you consume a day, Miku. You made the axiom, you got to make an equation soon. Yeah, when's Ava's equation? When's that dropping? Here's another example. Here's another example of Poisson's equation. Look at this beautiful thing. It keeps happening. Wait, did I misspell that somewhere? Oh no, that wasn't misspelled. I was like, I got tripped up because that didn't have the square, and I was like, did I mess up on my equation? No, I didn't mess up my equation. My heat diffusion is that. Oh my god, Teto is Miku's father. I had no idea, but it all makes sense now. Oh, here we go. I wanted to continue my notes on the separation of variables for the Laplace equation. Let's get my thing. Don't say quite a lot of leaks. Fine. Let's write this out. And so if our number of leaks, we're gonna get it to just be the variable L. Alright. So L is gonna be the actually limb soup, or number of leaks that Miku consumes. Alright. So with that in mind, this can then imply what? This can imply that, well, it's over a series of time. So if you know, t is in range of 0 to 24, we're gonna say per hour, just to make things simple. Actually, you know what? We're gonna make things a bit more complex. Not in that sense. From 0 is still accurate, and then it's okay. All right. Oops. So t is going to be in the range of 0 to 86,400. And that's seconds. So then Miku eats, you know, let m of t. The limit as t goes to infinity is going to be. The real question becomes, can Miku in fact consume L? Oh man, I need to restart the screen share because it's being stupid. The real question, does the infinity at is equal to L, and the claim that L is equal to, let's find this number. The claim exactly is the stay family friendly is 3, 2, 4, 8, 9, 7, 4, 3, 9, 4, 4, 8, 9, 2, 4, 7, 8, 9, 3, 8, 9, 3, 4, 2, 8, 9, 7, 4, 4, 3, 2, 8, 9, 7, 4, 2, 3, 8, 8, 0, 3, 4, 2, 4, 8, 8, 3, 0, 0, 4, 2, 4, 2. You hate how implicit differentiation is used in substitution. It makes sense, but I wish it wasn't real, and math is a completely abstract concept with no real use. And no, that's the problem with being applied. You get as abstract as you want, and then it drops to applied, and you're like, well... Well, so Miku, this is how much you claimed. This was your claim for how many leaks you consume a day. Is this reasonable? So, if we take rate Miku's consumption, you know, that's gonna be, in theory, L over 6. Our rate of Miku is gonna be that. So does anyone want to throw that into a calculator real quick for me? Ava, I'm looking at you. Can you throw this into a can you throw that into a calculator real quick and just and let me know the answer? Why is the math competition adding between a plane and adding distance between a plane and a line? You didn't learn it in geometry. It is geometry, it's just three-dimensional geometry. If you're thinking about a plane and a line. Open up Desmos. You know what? Actually, yes. You know what? Let's do that. Let's open up Desmos. Let's get a good visual going. Let's get a good visual going. Desmos. So first, let's define L. L, we're gonna go off the original definition for L. Okay. Or, as it's more commonly known, 3.248974 times 10 to the 58th. Then, oops. No, what's... Is... Then, we also want to set T, where T is in the steps. We're going to say T is equal to 0, and T is in between 0 and 8, 6, 400. And our steps, it's going to be a step of every second. Find the distance between the point 257 to the plane x plus 3y 2z equals 12. For that, you're going to need to make a crap, what's it called? Word escaping me. You do draw a line directly to the plane. Actually, yeah. Let's just do that in Desmos. Look at this point. Oops. 2, 5, 7. Okay. Alright, we're not in 3D. 1 second. Can I jump into 3D from here, or do I have to leave and go into a 3D Desmos? I don't remember. Alright, thanks for stopping by, Pedo and Miku, and arguing with each other. There's an equation for it that we could use. Let me grab... There is an equation we could use. Let me find it. I don't remember it off the top of my head. But the idea is that exactly, yeah. You're gonna make a line, like Ava said, from the plane that passes through it. Before. So, if you're... So, if you have non-zero normal vector, in theory, expand that Okay, let's write it out like this. Alright, let me switch off of this. Okay, I still exist. So, do I still exist? Yes, I still exist. Cool. Let me see if I remember how to do this. So, what was our function? I had it up there. X plus 3y minus z, or 2z, is equal to 12. Our point is, I'm going to call that point P naught. Why not? Was 2, 5, 7. Really, I should be giving you a similar one and not just it itself, but is what it is. What was the question? Oh, find the distance. In that case, we would have to find what, normal vector? Wouldn't that just be of? Well, there goes a page of my textbook. I'm very bumpy, the thing. Well, oh, wait. We just have the normal vector then of... So if you already have the equation, this tells us that we have a, which in this case of x minus x naught, this is x naught, this is y naught, this is z naught, x minus x naught. Let's just work out all the pieces we have. And this is a, this is b, this is c, this is d. B times y minus y naught, c times z minus z naught is equal to 0. That doesn't really matter. Our normal vector, though, is just going to be determined by our ABC. So our normal vector is just going to be 1, 3, negative 2. So really, if our normal vector is that, aim passing through the point with non-zero normal vector over the equation. I think I'm doing this right. Wait. Yeah, and if anything, it's just that. It's just the square root of that, the magnitude. Wouldn't it just be the... Because so what a plane tells us is, you know, we have a point and then we have a normal vector should be orthogonal to it. That's orthogonal to the plane. But I guess they're asking the distance from the plane to the point. I guess what I gave you is a plane that passes... Oh, no. You would just... Yeah, this is easy. Or, I shouldn't say that. I shouldn't just say this is easy. But yes, you have a point, you have a plane, you generate a parallel plane, and then you find the distance between the two planes. So if we want to so this is our... We generate a parallel plane. Alright. 1 of x minus 2 plus 3 times... Oops. y minus 5 plus c is -2. Z 7 should equal 0. X minus x minus 2 plus 3y minus 15 plus 14 equals 0, x plus 3y. And then you would just find the distance between the 2 points. I might even be going too far with this. It might even actually be simpler. Wait. No, I find the corresponding normal vector. I think I'm overthinking it, as per usual. Plus 2, plus 15, minus 14. So that gets 3. That minus 3. And then I am overthinking this like crazy. Hold on a minute. Whoa, what is that? How am I doing that? You're looking at me overthinking something. I'm going between 2 different formulas, or I ended up just finding a parallel plane for no particular reason using the other point. What you actually just need to do that's our normal. As per usual, I kind of went on a tangent. Question? Square root of b equals to x minus equals to... Yeah. I hate decimal answers. This is my conclusion. I hate decimal answers. Why aren't those answers exact? Because yeah, if it's around to the 10th, then you can actually get somewhere. If it's not, then... Ugh. Am I? Aren't I mathematician? I should love all numbers. Decimals. The thing about decimals that I don't like is that they're... I would prefer like, I don't know. That plus that is easier to do than... Well, that's not... Well, actually... And 1, 4, 2... What is it? 8, 5, 3 or something? Repeating? Whatever that is. Oh, I stopped checking. Yeah, I should probably confirm that. All you were doing was finding the distance between an equation there, a plane, a point right there. You find the point on the plane, which we already did, and I don't remember what the numbers were. And then you find that magnitude there, which would in fact, as Ava said, be the square root of... That's a terrible... Why did I write the word square root? Basically, we want the square root of our stuff here. There. You want the magnitude between the two. I want to do it with the fun way. But I don't think you're supposed to be... What maths are you in? That's an important question. What maths are you in? Because I might have gone way overshot what you're supposed to be doing. Oh. What it should be is just... Yeah. Yeah. I just double checked to confirm. Ava was right. Yeah. So it should be a of x naught plus b of y naught, c of z naught plus d, which we already established, and then over the square root of a squared plus b squared plus c squared. We established what those were when we said that we had x plus 3x or 3y? I'm trying to remember what the equation was. Minus 2z equals 12? Anyways, so our a is 1, our b is 3, c is negative 2, d is 12. Schmack those suckers together. And and then our x naught, y naught, and z naught we established were, I want to say 2, 5, and 7, if I remember, which would be our x naught, y naught, z naught. So plug those in, yeah, formulaic. You get your answer out. What was I conflating this with? I conflating. Oh yeah, you have to set it to 0. Yeah. Sorry. There you go, Ava. There you go. Alright, that should be a minus. There you go. Good catch. Yeah. Which, yeah, if we do plug all this in... What was I confusing it with? Or not confusing it with? What's the full... I'm just checking the distance. There's a way to do it different. Like, there's a way to do it with the... there's a way to write it in vector form. And I don't remember the way to write it in vector form. Like, vector 2-point form. There we go, true. Don't worry, Ava, I got you. 1 second. There we go. Maybe that's just the way I was thinking of it. And then the magnitude divided by the magnitude of the normal vector. Because the normal vector is ABC. The normal vector is ABC, so then it becomes the magnitude of the plane's position divided by the normal vector. Yeah. That's what it is. The magnitude of the equation divided by the magnitude of the equation divided by the magnitude of the equation of the plane divided by the magnitude of the vector itself. Oh, here's a good representation. Let's look at pictures. Ta-da! That's a good picture representation. You have your point. There. Theta in this case is irrelevant. P0 to P1. And then equation of the plane. Ah, that's what it is. It's... Oh! When I said out loud. So yeah, you have the equation of the plane. And then, yeah, you're multiplying it. You dot it with the, That's the formula. P0 to P1. That vector dotted with our normal vector divided by the magnitude of our normal vector. That makes more sense. I was trying to reason, like, why is that? And yeah, because we have this normal vector that we can determine from the plane that's going to be orthogonal to it, normal to it. But then you're saying if I go from the plane up to some point, and that's where the discrepancy, I guess, comes in. So we end up taking the magnitude of our, or the absolute value of our dot product between those two, and then get, okay, yes. Get that distance. Cool beans. Or even regular beans. Let me double check something in my book real quick. I want to see what orthogonal vector. Orthogonal. Maybe I was just thinking of the projection. Who knows? I certainly don't. What time is it? 35 after. I was originally gonna go back to working on separation of variables for the Laplace equation, but that is going to be showing up in a collab in the future, so I will hide that actually from now. All right. Let's see. So then, because it's in my head, so I can remember, I want to see if I can derive this off the top of my head. Wow, a clam. Yeah, it's a math collab with Newton. That's exactly right. That is exactly correct. With Sire Isaac Newton. Isn't it just the unit vector? Now let me think. Of you. That's what it is. I'm actually gonna write this one as bigger. The more heavy something is, the more forward you need to push it. I know, it's groundbreaking stuff. If an apple falls, it falls. Pretty revolutionary. The fact that he didn't get even more recognition for it is crazy. Let me remember. So that's what we're looking for. That's going to be our projection of u. That's going to be u. That's going to be v. So that's going to be the projection of... sorry. Let me remember. Is it u onto v? Is that the notation? Yeah. Yeah, it's the notation. And our projection of u onto v is we're going to take the magnitude of u vector those up times we want to take, we're gonna the opposite over adjacent, so that's gonna be our cosine of theta times, just remember this is all in absolute values, v divided by the magnitude of v because we want to generate the unit vector. This is actually not gonna, let me see if to V. Let's see. Yeah, that should be our projection. We take this, we take the length of this vector, we multiply it by cosine of theta so that we get our x component, and then we scale it by we multiply then the unit vector to scale it by that distance in that position. Is that physics? Not really. I mean, it's just vectors, which have a place in physics, but conceptually, it's just math. Double check my... Right. And then we're able to just basically say that this... If I can... This piece is just the scalar of u. And is it in relation to v? I don't remember. Kitchen time. Yeah, it's still it's the scalar of u over v. Right, because our position is still being determined by our theta there. Checks out. Checks out. What else do I want to think about right now? Review. I didn't expect to actually wake up some as this went on. I expected to kind of just be dead for this whole stream and for it to be done 40 minutes ago. But hey. You know how it be. What's other fun stuff? Okay, I can someone actually, if anyone, does this sound reasonable to people? I want to just know if everyone thinks this idea is reasonable. So, suppose Miku woke me up, pretty much. She kinda did. So suppose we have this center of mass. So this is just some mass. And it's large enough to emit a gravitational field. So if this is the gravitational field around the mass, and I say that we define that this term, we're just gonna say phi, capital phi, is equal, or is defined to be what? The potential gravitation, the gravitational potential energy. If you ever get sleepy in an exam, calculating Miku's leak dosage, and whoever is checking your scratch paper just has to deal with it. That's what's in. That's if you hate a professor. So at, say, this spot, we have the gravitational potential energy x. V of x. Is it fair to say, then, that... I'm just going to call it the first derivative, even though it's technically not, but pretend we're in Euclidean space. And it's not really the first derivative, but bear with me. Is it fair to say, then, that this... The wrong one. Is equal to the gravitational field, because now we'd be considering the movement along any position from there, and the change in gravity as we go on. I was trying to reason this today at work. So then across all X, we're saying this change in gravitational potential energy, and that change in gravitational potential energy would be directly influenced by the position within the gravitational field. Assuming we have a uniform, like a uniform ring, then it would just be a direct position. But there's also a fair chance it wouldn't be a uniform ring. In a three-dimensional thing, it would be in relation to all of our changing XYZ positions. So we'd have like essentially just gonna write it as DODX. I don't have anyone to like ask if that conceptually makes sense. I do have someone to ask at work tomorrow. I'm gonna be like, hey, what's your thoughts on this? Like that. So then we're essentially addressing our changes in position. The rate of change of our different positions across this entire field, so we can hit all these different points across it to then calculate our new gravitational potential energy across this entire field. I don't know. That was something that had just been in my head that I was messing with. Mainly because it had come up when I was looking at some equations earlier. So. Alright. I'm at a mixed bag right now. There's a few different things I kind of want to do, and I don't know. Because I'm like, I kind of want to eat. I kind of want to end stream here and eat dinner. Physics is beyond you, but it does look interesting. Yeah, physics is usually beyond me, so I was trying to approach it from just a mathematical perspective of moving around a coordinate system. And I think that makes sense to me. And it sounds reasonable. Oh, I guess the other thing is also the gravitational field would kind of be negative because the potential gravitational energy would decrease as we move inward. Because as you get closer and closer to the center, the acceleration due to gravity will be less and less because you will be accelerating for a shorter period of time. So there'll be less time for energy to accumulate, is my thought process surrounding that. I don't know. You only know F equals ma. It's basically that. It's basically that. Probably. Maybe. I don't know. Okay. God, I have no idea. Because I'm still in the future considering at some point to do an endurance stream. I have no idea how I'd be able to do it. It would have to be on a day where, of course, I didn't work, so I actually had energy to do it. I'm gonna have to figure out some way to gain the mental fortitude, the physical fortitude to maintain myself and composure. Amongst that many hours of thinking. And many hours of thinking, even few hours of thinking, clearly I have trouble with. That is a bit of an up and down. I don't know how to do it. I think I can't focus on one thing too long, I guess. May you recommend amphetamines? I guess you may. I don't know if I'll take that recommendation, but you may recommend it. A crap ton of Monster energy drinks. I do like energy drinks already. I am partial to heart palpitations. So maybe that is the trick. I also at the start of this was like sitting cross-legged on my chair, and then I've been sitting up straight for the past while. The fact that I haven't been standing the stream is just because I'm, like I said, very out of it. And I need a lot of snacks. I need like a stoner's amount of snacks. I need to be able to gorge myself. Sufficiently gorge myself on large amounts of I don't like Funyuns, and I think that's like the go-to stoner one. Regardless, Red Bull gives you math. I mean, kind of. I do tend to get brain power when I'm more uppity. When I'm up, when I'm on, I tend to really go at those kinds of things sufficiently, with a great deal of fervor and verve and another word that basically just means passion, but so caffeine might be the solution. It might be a large amount of sleep beforehand, like Jen said just now. Best cure to being sleepy is sleeping, yeah. So if I get a ton of sleep the night before, I get a ton of snacks, and then I just have to be willing to sit and play a game for hours on end. Which could be challenging on its own, but Red Bull was Japan's Red Bull, yeah, was Japan's OG amphetamines. That's fair. Don't forget cat treats too. I don't know how well those'll help my help me not falling asleep, but maybe that's just like an in general thing. You're like, hey, just keep them next to you. Keep them next to you at all times. There's something I was thinking. Conventional stuff. Doesn't matter. Doesn't matter. Oh. Project Euler. I'm on problem 31. Yeah, I'm on problem 31 now on Project Euler. This is my thought process surrounding different problems. A to the 5th plus b to the 5th plus c to the 5th plus d to the 5th plus e to the 5th plus g to the 5th equals a, b, c, d, e, g. And guess what? That's not multiplication. Those are just individual digits. And this equation is pretty groundbreaking. Same with that equation. They're both pretty groundbreaking concepts. Most people don't know this one. I think I kind of deserve a prize for being able to figure out both of these. These used to be considered unsolvable math problems until I came around. And then scribbled those down. So if you ever question my credentials, Just look at these equations. It speaks for itself. Really, it does. It carries the weight of a degree, of a lifetime full of dedication and educational prowess that really should not be overlooked, should not be forgotten, and too often is. Am I having a stroke? This one was funny. This problem was fun. Oh, right, this one. This one was a mess. So this one I remember we had kind of done. This was problem 27. Straight up. So I ended up, I looked for patterns, I messed with stuff, and I said, okay, is there something I'm missing? Is there something clear that I'm missing? Some sort of definite piece or pattern of information that I'm missing? The only things that we could... Oops. Guys, you get to see how vain I am. My background's literally myself. The only pieces that I could really find were that, of course, when n equals 0, that implies that b has to be prime. And must be odd. And then the other thing is that A has to be odd. Were the only pieces we had. So B, luckily, we only had to choose from 168 different things. So this was, 168 primes that are less than 1,000. And that's not entirely accurate because there's some values that we wouldn't count due to the nature of the problem. But beyond that, I mean, so we had to do a triple nested for loop, and that was the way to find the solution. And after I did, I was like, okay, that like I made the triple nested for loop. I was like, all right, let's just brute force it. It took 0.3 seconds. I figure out how to spell 0.3 seconds to run. That's all. But it was just straight up do them all. I checked other people's answers after the fact, just like online. And people seem to have come up with the same solution of, well, I guess you gotta brute, like you can reduce the level you brute force it by a pretty significant amount when we look at that and we look at that. So like this drops it down quite a bit from 1,000 choices, almost a tenth of the choices, and this is half the choices. But it's still just crazy to me that there wasn't something more intuitive. And like even with this one was fun. This one was fun because it took me like 5 minutes to do. And it was just cool because you ended up shifting around. If you notice immediately that the squares increase and then you shift accordingly, like these became my starting points. And then I just shifted along the evens to find new starting points based off the positioning in this outwards going square. It's hard to explain, but essentially what you did was you had a starting point and you kind of like spiraled out like that. And then it was like add together the sum of all the diagonals if this spiral is a 1,000, oops, that's 1,001 by 1,001 square. So that was cool. And then this one, again, this was actually a 6-level nested loop. This was, 6 nested for loops, which coincidentally took less than 0.1 seconds to run, so it wasn't that bad. But we had essentially the tricky part was we were given a hint that suggested that this would be a 5-term thing, that it would be A, B, C, D, E. However, we had to check by running 9 to the 5th times 6 times 6 as like our maximum possible outcomes. And then when you did that, you found, oh, it was actually 6 digits. Because if you did 9 to the 5th times 5, you ended up finding that this had 6 digits, which implied that we had to do 6 digits. I don't know why I'm sharing all this. I just am. You know what? I'm on a roll. So that's kind of stuff has been really fun. And this is what I'm really enjoying about Project Euler, is stuff like that. So ultimately, we did have to do, as it says here, 6 nested for loops, which, you know, clearly wasn't that big of a deal. But the 6 nested for loops was a technically a brute force method. But the actual trick surrounding the pattern was around that, which was fun. We is silly. Yes. We goobers. We goobers. Listen, if I can be satisfying background noise for at least one person, then I've done my job. I still have no idea what I'm going to do on Friday, though. Like I said, I was thinking about doing something kind of like fun, mathy, surrounding Valentine's, which could be silly, but like the idea was surrounding like like I can write this out right now. Friday stream ideas. And that's for 2/13. So I, of course, will not be spending Valentine's Day with all of you. I feel like that much should have been obvious. But the day before Valentine's Day, you mentioning Valentine's Day reminded you of the ACT on Valentine's Day. Then maybe this should be ACT prep. Maybe we should do an ACT prep stream the day before Valentine's. just to ruin someone's day just a little bit. The other thing I wanted to consider is like create a formula for loneliness. Should be funny. And then the other thing, like, no, it's sexy math ASMR. Nope, we're family friendly. I'm gonna have to make an alternate channel just for that. Only for reading and writing, though. Oh, I'm sorry, I can't help with that. Brammed no good, Lear. Unfortunately, my writing is stuck to lab reports. Lab reports and publications, that's all I can help with, I'm sorry. Technical writing, absolutely. Creative writing? No. I'm actually much more comfortable than writing than I like to admit, but I just... meh. Like, and then I was thinking, oh, you know, it's Friday, so I could do a, you know, a video game. That could be something. But at the same time, like maybe Don't Stop Girly Pop, because that has, you know, heart themes. But I don't. It's okay. It's fun. It's a fun game. I just like don't really feel like playing it. Honestly, it's gonna be Friday. I'm gonna want to try and chill some after stream, so I don't want to do a crazy long stream. Honestly, ACT prep could be funny. Or the formula for loneliness. The formula for loneliness could be funny if I prepare something in advance for it. If I just try to do it off the cuff, I'll be screwed. If I make a PowerPoint in 5 minutes, if I make a PowerPoint surrounding it in 5 minutes, then it could be funny. If we like step by step derive a formula with like asymptotes, so it would be like a piecewise function that would also have like asymptotes in it. And the asymptotes would basically be... Maybe that's what it can be. It'd have asymptotes that as you approach 2... as you approach 2, it breaks, so you can never hit 2. No matter what, the function is trapped between like... The function's trapped between 0 and 2 the entire time. And every time you try and escape from that, no, you're just trapped back into 2. It's like, and there's... A step-by-step derivation of that could be funny. Solving 100 linear algebra problems? I mean... You mean like matrix multiplication or like proofs? Because if it's matrix multiplication, I mean, technically that's easy if you just do it on a computer. Haha, not math. I know, it's so scary. I'm very sorry for being the math VTuber. Speaking of which, actually, today on Twitter, they ended up following me on Twitter, so I followed them back. Another math VTuber specifically, a fractal math VTuber, a very interesting concept. So I want to check out, see what their content is like. Euler's oil rig. Oh, so it becomes Euler's Euler. No, it should be Euler's Euler rig. Euler's Euler rig. It varies based off, because like the proof ones could be fun. Depending. I mean, I guess if you stay more linear algebra and go less abstract, maybe. I'm pretty out of practice with abstract, honestly, so that would be difficult. You're about to look up an impossible math problem and send it. Riemann hypothesis. Use intimidate. Yeah, solving one of the impossible math problems. You're gonna send it, and I'm just gonna answer it immediately and be like, "It's 6." I'll be like, "It's 6," and I'll be like, "It's 7," and then I go, and then that's the whole joke. Yeah. Yeah. I'm not really good at this whole comedian thing. Man, I gotta do more of these. Turns out just studying, I find a lot more fun. Just hanging out and doing whatever. Oh, that's 6-7, 6-7, 6-7 character her. I need a toggle on my model to do the 6-7 thing. The other day, I ran to the grocery store and I bought myself, I bought my dad was like looking for some ingredients. And so I bought them for him. And then he Venmo'd me for them. And he Venmo'd me. And it was just a gif of an old man who looked like Colonel Sanders doing the 6-7. And it said 6-7. And just nothing else. I'm just like, what's happening? What is happening to the world? Some would say the world is healing. I think it's breaking. I think it's getting worse. I think it's actively getting worse. Yeah. But I'll have to think of something. If tomorrow I decide to make a presentation for like a formula for loneliness, then we'll do that. I'll decide it probably on the fly, like the day of. I'll probably make the thing. Nintendo hair. I think it's more of toothpaste hair. I get Colgate a lot. I tweeted at Colgate, and then they responded. Great meme reset part 2. I don't know what that means. See? Admit when you don't understand a joke. There's nothing I hate more than courtesy laughs. There's nothing I hate more than courtesy laughs. If you don't understand the joke, just say you don't understand the joke. Was that x cubed plus y cubed plus z cubed equals k? I seen that hiding behind my head. You can't hide that, Cairo. Melty Blood actress? I've never played Melty Blood. But it's got the cat. It's got the silly cat in it. So it must be good. Although I'm pretty sure it's based off something that I'm not going to say, but I know. The sum of 3 cubes equaling an integer for numbers. Neko Arc, that's what it is. I do like their theme though. I would listen to their theme. The sum of 3 cubes equaling an integer. Wait, the sum of 3 cubes that equal an integer for k is 1 in 100. So was just all you're saying is to sum the integers, and if the answer is in between 1 and 100 inclusive, those are our answers for x. The like save those coordinates. That sounds like a level 1 or level 0 Project Euler problem right there. Based off Tsukihime. I'll believe that is what it is based off. I don't know the name. I just know it's something inappropriate. Didn't know specifically what it was called, but we'll just pretend that it doesn't exist and just laugh at Neko Arc. Can you guys hear my teeth chattering? Not chattering, clacking. Guys, there you go. That's the closest I'll ever get to ASMR. Can get really complicated. The solution for k equals 33 was found in 2019. Ooh, that's cool. I guess, yeah, it actually probably does get a bit trickier, because you can easily have negatives with the active cubes. That's a fun idea. That's a fun idea. Let's make the stupidest math problem. Checkmate. Already did it. This is supposedly how many leeks Hatsune Miku eats in a day. And so the rate of leeks per second can be found by solving L divided by 86,400. The amount of leeks that Hatsune Miku, on average, consumes in a second. The abomination of 8866128975287528 to the third power plus negative 87784054428622239 to the third power plus negative 27361114680740 to the third power equals 33. Now I have to say that like an AI. 8886128975287528 to the third power. Why do we need to know this? Because you always need to know this. You never don't not need to know this. This is just a wealth of information and knowledge that will help you in your day-to-day life. Assuming you have a very strange day-to-day life. A very numerical day-to-day life. Numerically analytical day-to-day life. It will not help you in your day-to-day life. I can accept that. I can accept that. I can't accept that. I smell something. I think I smell spaghetti. I like pasta. Not specifically like spaghetti. Does spaghetti include meat sauce? Whenever I talk to Zero, she's like, you can't have spaghetti without meat sauce. But she eats butter noodles all the time. Butter noodles are very tasty. Why would you need to calculate Miku in your day-to-day life? You're not calculating Miku. You're calculating the Miku Liku Iku. No, sorry. Liku. Wait, sorry. You're calculating the Miku Liku Itu for a second. Which could be beneficial. I'm not saying it is necessarily definitely going to be beneficial, but you can't rule that factor out. The chances of you needing to solve this problem are low. But they're never zero. Never mind, for K being for 1 to 100, all have been solved except for the impossible 4 or 5 mod 9. Oh, so there is an impossible one? What if you accidentally make a math problem by spamming random things? That's kind of... I mean, you have a non-zero chance. If you spam random stuff, there's a non-zero chance you get something. The smallest k that has yet to be solved that isn't impossible is k equals 114. That's cool. See, that falls into the domain, unintended, of math, of pure math theorists. I will leave that to them. I'll stick to more applied situations. As is my want, as is my desire, as is my love. Okay, let's... You accidentally make the capabilities needed to make time travel just by spamming random numbers. Probably. Numbers, probably not. Letters? Letters, yes. Numbers, no. You throw in enough symbols, letters, then probably. But you're not going to do it just by numbers. Because numbers would be exact. And we keep that stuff variable. Pun. Did you know that the minimum over the image E? No. We're looking to minimize E such that I want to say E is equal to lambda times squared for R plus F minus G squared still over R dr. I think that's the lambda. Does there have to be an alpha there? No, this would stay consistent. We can change G. And then we use this to minimize noise across a signal. I would say image, but I'm going to say signal. Of a signal. I think that's squared. I should make the background a classroom as a joke. I mean, I should get more backgrounds commissioned. The thing about that is that it costs money. Right now is all in the realm of saving for grad school, which I believe I should hear. Oh, excuse me. I should hear about later this week. It took 1.4 million hours to find the solution for k equals 42. Is that or 1.3? Is that 1.3 like GPU hours? So it's not real time, it's GPU time. And the fake time that implies. Which, computations are no joke. And the thing is, you have to, since there's no limit on X, Y, and Z, that skyrockets the computation like crazy. You do have kind of limitless possibilities to choose from, but oh my god, just I mean, if that's what you want to put your energy towards, then go for it. No, I'm all in the support of just like discovering those new things, but it's not something I would ever do. The AI were sweating. We can't keep computing this. It's just a bunch of monkeys in a cage doing math equations nonstop. Poor guys. Poor monkeys. But hey, they weren't my monkeys, and the cage wasn't in my circus, so not my problem. Oh, let me find it. And actually, okay, let's guess that how long the solution for k equals 114, how long it would take. There's no guarantee that the proportion, I don't think it's proportional to the value itself, because you have to consider like the primes. Consider how it factors down, because if you were to do it through like bases, like maybe logarithms somehow. In theory, it could be faster if you can put it together, the pieces together, in a way that's not horrible. Poissonium, a new element. Ugh. That falls in the realm of chemistry. I know a guy. Well, not a guy. I know a they them. I know an it that dabbles in such chemical reactions, and mayhaps they will design a chemical around me. naming a chemical after myself, a chemical compound, not a compound, an element itself. You know what I mean? Discovered computationally. You're wrong, class, exactly. You know a table and a stand? The only stand I know is Star Platinum and King Crimson, and I don't know how either of them work, so I don't think those will be much helpful either. And the only tables I see are in wrestling rings. By God, through the table, oh my God, Jeff Hardy's broken in half, and so forth. Okay, I hunger. Since I hunger, I think I'm going to call it here to satiate my said hunger. But I will decide what I'm doing on Friday before Friday comes. I want it to be stupid, though. I don't want it to be legitimate. I want it to be stupid. A video game would be legitimate. An actual thing would be legitimate. I don't want that. We're going to do something dumb. I probably like a pre-Valentine's Day nonsense bit. Anyways, I've been Poisson, your mathematical maestro and LaTeX linguist. I'll see you all next time. Thank you for watching, and bye-bye. Get styled on, Cairo. Lovingly.